Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're doing a Valentine's Day episode. Last year we reviewed a couple of the worst BuzzFeed Valentine's Day videos, which was a lot of fun, so I thought we'd do something similar here today. This time though, we're reviewing a specific type of Valentine's video, something I've seen pop up from multiple channels over the years. Typically called single versus relationships on Valentine's Day, or some variation of it, this now cliche kind of video is something that gets made by vloggers and lifestyle channels every goddamn year. And what really struck me upon looking into this was how similar and played out all the jokes and gags are. So today, I'm going to tell you all about it as I go over 4 different versions I found on 4 different channels. Which, funny enough, that's where all the differences end, pretty much. Because once you look into these, you realize these single versus relationship on Valentine's Day videos are almost all the same. Let me explain. First, let's talk about the setup, which is pretty simple. The vloggers act out 2 opposing types of people on Valentine's Day. The single people, who are almost always portrayed as overly sad, depressed, and sometimes violently angry. Take this for example from Crazy Ray Ray's video called Single vs. Relationships on Valentine's Day.
Really? I'm single.
She seems a little upset, but not too bad. But I can't tell if this girl is intentionally acting like she doesn't care that much, or if that's just the best acting this chick can muster up. Now let's look at a similar scene from Cassie Diamond's video called Single vs. Relationship! Valentine's Day. Pretty much the same low-effort waking up on Valentine's joke. Now here she may look at a screenshot of February 14th instead of text on her phone, but that's about the only difference. And conversely, Cassie's relationship wake-up does have her reading text too, just like Crazy Ray.
Good morning, babe. Happy Valentine's Day. Love you. Today's gonna be a great day.
Obviously, this is the other side of the gimmick of this video as well. People in relationships are always overly happy, ecstatic, and sometimes even sexy on Valentine's, according to these vloggers and their jokes. And another similarity worth noting besides the use of texting in their stories, they also all have these titles with obnoxious music and sound effects. Cassie's is the worst. She overuses this clip from an Ed Sheeran song, and by the end of her 7-minute video, it gets really nauseating.
Hey.
Now let's flip over to the other 2 videos for today, who both got a little more angry upset about being single on Valentine's. Starting with Hidden Reaction's video called Single Guys vs. Relationships on Valentine's Day. Before the angry part though, this video starts with a guy having a happy relationship wake up that's almost identical to the last 2 girl ones we watched. Then it quickly moves on to another angry single wake up.
Oh, no.
Grr, that guy was pissed. He's also oddly sleeping in regular long pants with no shirt on. Shirtless is to be expected on this channel though. Hidden Reaction's gimmick on his channel is he's really ripped and does videos shirtless almost every time. Multiple times per video in fact. Take a look at another angry because I'm single bit later in this video.
Ooh, someone texted me on Valentine's Day. I wonder who it could be. Is this funny, Mr. Stuffles?
Nice pecs there, duder. But do you even lift, bro? But really, I wanted to show you guys this scene of him ripping the bear's head off because our next video has pretty much the same thing in it. Dan and Raya's video called Couples vs. Singles on Valentine's Day has an interesting twist on this bear thing though. Check this out.
Alright, let's go.
Okay.
It's gonna be
One less lonely bear. One less lonely bear. One less lonely bear.
So we got another angry single ripping off teddy bears' heads on Valentine's. But this time, this channel chose to do it with a guy having a wig on, seemingly cross-dressing because that's so hilarious. Only if you're Monty Python though, or the whitest kids you know, or ContraPoints on YouTube. That guy cross-dresses for all his videos and they're quite hilarious. Unintentionally. There's something weird about this Dan and Raya video though. The guy who's cross-dressing is acting all flamboyant and gay and he's got me a little worried. You see, their channel's gimmick is they're a couples channel, hence the Dan and Raya name. But I have to say, I may have to break some bad news to the Raya girl in this. Raya, honey, I think your man might be gay. He's certainly not a manly man, to say the least. It's questionable, and his cross-dressing and sounding effeminate skills are eerily good. And did Dan insist on doing the girl character here? Maybe this is a running gag on their channel, but I don't really see why they need it here. He could have just been a guy angry about being single, or his wife could have played the angry girl. I don't know. This is weird. Just a thought. Back to Crazy Ray and Cassie's videos, which both have similar segments of them getting ready for Valentine's Day, both in single and relationship versions. Here's Cassie first.
That's right, I'm hot. I'll be the princess, it's a love story, baby, just say yeah.
I guess some of our younger fans might think that's funny, but the overacting, the over-the-top crap, that ain't for me, that's for sure. Clearly Cassie and Crazy Ray's channels are based on them being cute and not terrible on camera. They have nice personalities, which show in their vlogs and straightforward talking to camera scenes, but when they try and act and try and be funny, that's when there's issues. And the thing is, while Cassie tends to overact, Crazy Ray does kind of the opposite. She underacts, and it's equally as awkward and cringy to watch.
Pizza, check.
Blanket, check.
Boyfriend. Okay.
Not only can you barely hear Crazy, but the camera's also way too far away to catch any of your subtle face movements, which aren't even acting anyway. I mean, she's basically just talking. I guess they think this single versus relationship gags are funny enough to hold up on their own, but I don't think they are. And there was something else I noticed in the recommended videos for Crazy Ray Ray. She does a challenge video with her boyfriend, and I couldn't help but notice that her partner was totally beta and girly looking, just like the Dan and Raya channels guy, as if we needed more proof that this next generation of guys are turning into soy boys. I don't know why, but testosterone levels are clearly going down in this country, especially amongst the male YouTubers and the female YouTubers' boyfriends. Now, with all those comparisons made, I think it's pretty clear how overdone and played out these single-verse relationship on Valentine's Day videos are. They're all basically the same setups and executions. And on top of that, the premise was never done that well to begin with. I think all these vloggers do it because it's easy to do and it sounds funny on paper. It also reminds me of the waves of Instagram comedians coming into YouTube lately. These are a lot like their comedy videos, which also include over-the-top skits that have weak jokes and are almost completely carried by the attractive people saying them. 90% of these vlog channels and their popularity are hinged on having attractive hosts for the channel. Let's be real. Do you think Crazy Ray Ray would have almost 3 million subscribers if she was fat and ugly? Not a chance. And the people watching these good-looking people channels clearly will deal with the lacks of quality, creativity, and humor, so long as they get to stare at their pretty person for the day. And there's nothing wrong with that either, mostly. It's not what I watch videos for, but if you do, that's all gravy. Go for it. Actually, you know what? I lied. I do watch some pretty people channels, but it's not usually the ones with these bullshit vlogs, skits, or makeup videos. I prefer the fitness girls and the ones who openly embrace this type of channel. Fitness vloggers, for example, they do workouts, they do try-on videos, putting on bikinis and tight clothes, and sometimes they do meal prep. And I respect that because they're not trying too hard to be something they're not. They're not trying to put on skits and be hilarious or tell these stories they think are interesting. But I would say Crazy Ray and Cassie are doing that a bit, and their attempts at sketch comedy are laughable. It's some Lele Pons level cringe, to be honest. And Lele Pons does the same exact thing sometimes. Actually, she's popular because she's pretty and she dresses like a hooker in half her videos. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'm a warm-blooded American male. I love to watch me some sexy Latin chicks flaunting it online. But it's when girls like this do sketch comedy, that's when things get awkward and cringy. Believe it or not, sketch comedy is way harder than most people think, and it's certainly beyond the reach of most of these YouTubers. But that doesn't stop them from trying it anyway. Oh, I forgot to mention this other beta guy from the hidden reaction video. He's almost as bad as the other two we saw before. And he's got a pretty good looking date too. It's such a shame seeing these modern girls going for this soy boy shit. These betas are really in nowadays. Now I know this couple might be fake, they might be just acting like a couple for the skit, but I've seen a lot of girls going for this in real life too, and it kind of makes you sad. Men can't be men anymore. They're all expected to be these metro, feminine, pretty boys now, for the most part, in public at least. I have a feeling most women don't actually want this though. They pretend they do, but at the end of the day, they'd rather have a dirty manly man over this beta crap. And girls going for these soy boys also run the risk of these guys being closeted homosexuals. I'm looking at you, Dan and Raya. Dan, I think you might be gay, and you can only suppress that shit so long. Before we go today, there are a few more commonalities worth mentioning in these videos. These bits appear to be common threads on the vlog channels overall too, but they're also inserted in these Valentine's videos, so I think they're still worth mentioning. For example, Cassie and Crazy, now that I say it, their names are similar too, but they also both have obnoxious intros, like the worst ever, and they both ask for subs at the beginning, likes, and Instagram followers and everything, before their content even starts.
Hey guys, what's up? it's Cassie here, and welcome back to my channel.
Blue Polaroid camera. It's so cute. And all I have to do to enter to win this Polaroid camera
It's just be subscribed to my channel and follow me on Instagram, and if you want a bonus entry, you can add me on Snapchat.
Hi guys, so this is my friend right here.
just for entertainment. Comment down below, let me know if you guys are single or if you guys are in a relationship because I'm a weirdo, whatever.
Also guys, don't forget to subscribe to my vlog channel. I am having so much fun vlogging on there. I'm uploading a ton on there, so you do not want to miss out. Definitely click it. I'm waiting. Did you do it?
You can really see what's important for these girls. Marketing, promotion, and Snapchat followers. Content is just a means to the end. Lastly, with the exception of Cassie's video, which is 7 minutes, the other 3 are around 4 minutes long. Cassie's might have been too if she cut out all her promotions and shilling and stuff. Now, this short length is kind of good and bad. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to watch any more of this crap than I have to, but at such a short length and such a weak premise, it's almost like these videos should have never been made at all. I feel like the creators were searching for something to make a Valentine's video about, and this was just the best thing they could come up with. And to be fair and honest, I pretty much did the same thing, except I'm reviewing and slamming their videos, of course, which makes me better than them. I'm better than everyone. You could call me a hypocrite if you want, but I think this shit needed to be said. Single versus relationship on Valentine's Day videos are bullshit. There, I said it. In the end, these videos are not only unfunny and forced, they're also played out in virtual copies of each other. Whether they just happen to reach the same formats and conclusions coincidentally because the setup is so simple and stereotypical, or worse, they could have saw each other's titles going around and decided to make rip-off versions themselves. Either way, this is some bullcrap. Bullshit, I mean. There's not one original thought in all 4 of these videos. I mean, think about it. I can think of a couple original gags right now, off the top of my head with little to no effort. For example, why do all the single on Valentine's Day people have to be sad and lonely? I would make at least one joke where someone is happy to be single, because it's so much cheaper, and you can do whatever you want that day. Like a guy who's not really into romantic stuff, so he welcomes being single on Valentine's. Then again, there doesn't seem to be one guy on any of these channels who has balls enough to admit this, or to make that joke. The women are all in control here, and probably have scared the men into acting like they've always loved romance and shit. Well, let me tell you, as an alpha male as fuck manly man myself, some guys aren't into that romance shit. Sure, we all love sex, but sometimes romance, flowers, and scented candles aren't our thing. And in the same vein, there could have been jokes made with people who are not completely happy being in a relationship on Valentine's. As I said before, V-Day can not only get expensive, there's also a lot of pressure at times to be romantic, surprising, or original with your plans that day. And although these girl vloggers don't appear to have an ounce of creativity or originality amongst the 4 of them, I guarantee you these are the same kinds of girls who will demand their men get them something special and take them somewhere completely original each year. Isn't it ironic? With that said, I could see a joke about a guy in a relationship being nervous on Valentine's Day, worried he didn't do enough or pick the right dinner spot. And for a joke with the girl, it could be a bitchy woman who isn't satisfied with her man's gift. She could play the conceited, holier-than-thou type. I think this Crazy Ray girl looks terrible enough. She could pull off a bitch perfectly, and there'd be some good laughs there too. What do you guys think? Are these vlog channels and their single versus relationship Valentine's Day videos any good? Are all the similarities as blatant and terrible to you as they are to me? And what do you think it's really like to be single or in a relationship on Valentine's? I'm not going to deny it can be a pretty nice day to treat your partner to a little gift and go out to dinner, but it's not much more than that to me. Mostly a Hallmark holiday, so I really don't see why the single people even need to be worried at all. When I was single, it was just another day of the week. No harm, no foul. Tell me what you guys think about everything in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Until next time, stay classy, no bullshitters. New video coming tomorrow. See y'all then.